Jamie, this is all you, my friend. I have no real experience or history with Overwatch.
So I jumped on Overwatch when it first released, and I was actually really mad at Overwatch when it first released because it came out of the ashes of Titan, which was the MMO, the new MMO that was coming from Blizzard. And I'm a huge World of Warcraft fan, and I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be great. And then they were like, fuck Titan. We're going to use bits of it. We're going to make this game where you can run around and shoot each other. And then Overwatch released, and I started playing it, and I got hooked. And I played it to death myself. Alan and Ed used to play as a trio of I am healer for life, so I play Zenyatta, and Al was tanking as Roadhog, and Ed would play Soldier 76. We called ourselves the Fuckening, and we used to just sweep in and save games. And we got really good. Like, I'm blowing my own trumpet, 100%, but we got good. We played it a lot. And then obviously other games come out, and there's only so long that there were new competitive shooters, and so we went and we played those, and it tailed off. And then Overwatch 2 gets announced. Really excited. Overwatch 2 is first impressions. Overwatch 1. They have slapped a 2 on the end of it. They've added some more characters and some more maps, and they've tweaked things up. But they have, I mean, they took down the Overwatch servers. They dropped Overwatch 2 over the top of it. It's not a bad thing. They took the experience that you know and love, and they went, "Hey, have some more of it and enjoy." And it's great. I've been having a blast. There's it's very much it's a first person shooter slash. I think they call it, what was it they call it, a hero shooter, but it's very much MOBA esque. You're a 5-on-5 team. Characters have their own abilities. You very much want to look at your team comp, especially if you're five stacking it. You're looking at how can I counteract this play? Who's the best to take on this? What's the best healer for this map? Like it's there's a bit of strategy there, but we mostly we know our roles, we know our characters. We've got a 5 stack. We've started comp, and this is where it falls apart. We tried to stream it the other night, and we got some games in, but the servers died. There are some massive issues at the moment. There were huge issues with the launch, like 50,000 players in a queue, and you would sit there, and then it would be 60,000, and then you'd get kicked out, and it was buggy. Blizzard, I don't understand how they can have that much money and that much technical talent in the building
Yeah.
and fail at every major launch they've ever done. It
Especially when
doesn't
they
make
know
any
that
sense.
the demand for this game is going to be like crazy numbers, that they know they're going to get hit server side with like tons of people wanting to log on.
Yeah, they did it with the Shadowlands launch for WoW. Like they had the numbers. They had pre-sold. Obviously, everyone was signed up for it. They basically knew exactly how many people, but they don't bother to. They've known for years that they need to make certain changes server side and things like that. But the thing is, they just don't, because they know that players will keep coming back anyway. They will suffer through the bad launch for the 2 weeks after launch when they finally get it fixed and work out the kinks, and then we can play it. And rather than invest the money that it would take to make the launch run smoothly for that one time, because that's how they're considering it, it seems, they just leave us as we are because they know we'll come back. Very, very frustrating. They've had to
Mm.
take characters out of the rotation completely. Like Torbjorn, you cannot play currently in comp, and Bastion they took out of the game entirely for the time being because they're trying to fix balancing issues. There are some characters that are woefully unbalanced and need patching. And you get that with these games. Like there's always issues where
Sure.
they have to nerf and tweak, and it takes forever to get the balance right. But there are some major balance issues,
Mm. So
major server issues.
question for you. Do you think, because this one is a free to play title rather than the original one, which was a quote unquote boxed release game, a paid for title, do you
Hmm.
think the free to play model for it has allowed them to have a bit more control over the narrative and the expectation that this doesn't or isn't or doesn't necessarily need to be a full blown quote unquote sequel game? where everything is kind of changed up and like radical changes, radical improvements, where it's more kind of an evolution of what was already kind of working.
Yeah, I think there is a general public perception with free to play games that it's like they're going to be a bit. It's going to be a bit buggy. You're going to have a few problems. It's the wrong approach to take, because obviously you're still bringing people in. You're still asking them to spend money. Like you can still buy things in the game, cosmetics, that sort of thing. And the full game, because they're bringing a campaign to it, and it's launching later, and that's still coming. And you want to drag people into your lore and then convince them to buy the full edition and things like that. So, but yeah, it's definitely a part of of how they're approaching it, and it is very frustrating at the moment. Like not having considering it's such a competitive game, and Overwatch is big in the esports league, always was big in the esports league. It's frustrating that there are these problems. But all of that being said, it is just ridiculously good fun to play. Like it is when it's working, it works well, and it is fantastic. And I love Zenyatta. I love being able to outsnipe snipers as the healer. Like it's ridiculous. It's so much fun. He's Zenyatta's broken, always has been. Like he has too much damage output for a healer. They actually had to nerf his output as well with Kiriko, who boosts attack speed. So I essentially turned into a chain gun, which was just ridiculous, and they had to
Amazing.
stop that. So
Amazing.
so yeah, I would absolutely recommend people try it. Like it is fantastically good fun, but just expect problems for a
Sure.
while, and it'll
Yeah.
probably be going on for a little while longer yet. So
Right, well, that's one good thing about the free to play model is there's no kind of barrier to entry. You can jump in, you can try it. If it's maybe a little bit kind of broken or buggy here and there, you can drop out and then always come back whenever you want to see. Okay, well, let's see what's changed up this time. Let's see what things have been fixed, and is it in a position where okay now I'm really enjoying it, or what have they done to grow the audience and grow the all the features within the game. And you mentioned balancing and character balancing and things like that. It's like, um did they nerf your favorite character? You liked that they were OP, or did they bump up a character who you thought was woefully underpowered, and I just wish they were doing a little bit more kind of DPS and things like that, which is cool. But that's a good thing about free to play, I guess.
yeah, it's ups and downs. The one thing I will say though, and I will say this: Blizzard nerf Moira, nerf her.
Don't know who that is. That's straight over my head, Sarah. I have no idea who he's
Just
talking about.
Same.
oh
But I agree.
yeah, the internet will agree.
The internet will agree.